Welcome to the LeBauer Show. This is the #1 show for passionate physical therapy and healthcare entrepreneurs looking to level up their income and impact on the world. If that's you, then you're in the right place. So sit back, chill out, and let's get into the show.
Welcome back to the LeBauer Show. Today, I'm actually recording this while broadcasting live, which is kind of cool. I used to do this a lot more. But recently I was interviewed by my business coach, Taki Moore, for our monthly Black Belt Hot Seat on the strategies that help take my business from 35K months to over $1 million a year. So that's 35K months to 84,000 a month, or even 100K months. So I posted about this in our group, the Cash PT Nation, which is our free Facebook group for cash-based physical therapists. I posted over there about this last week. I was like, hey, what questions do you have, or what questions would you like to ask me? And I got some really great questions. The funny thing is in preparing to run this as a podcast, I posted the exact same thing on my personal Facebook wall, and I didn't get any questions. I just got a bunch of congratulations, which is really cool. So thank you very much. I think it's really dope. I've had, for about a year and a half, I've had a run rate of over $84,000, which is kind of cool. So it's not just a new thing, but as one of my coaching clients, Brandon Smith, says, is not everyone knows. You should tell them more. And, I get that. But for me, just like you, it's always hard to be like, oh yeah, I make $1 million a year. Well, $1 million doesn't go in my personal bank account a year. It will soon, but we generate over $1 million in our coaching business, which is dope, which really just means that we're helping lots of people. And when I think about it, I've been interviewed recently and asked, how'd you start this? And I've been doing business coaching since 2012, maybe, plus or minus. I sold my first product in a digital download in 2013. The Cash PT Blueprint course, we sold the first one in August 2014. So that's 9 years old. And it's funny about the business coaching thing. I think there's a lot of people these days that are like, ooh, people are asking me, how do I do a cash practice, or how do I run my business, or whatever it is, and let me go start a business coaching program. And for a lot of people, it's an intentional move. It's an intentional thing. It's like, I see this opportunity. Let me go try to take advantage of it, which I think is great. I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with that, but I didn't get into business coaching to make a lot of money. I got into it because I was helping other people, and they started asking me to pay them. So, and similar, I got into cash practice. I already had a massage therapy practice. I went back to PT school, and I was like, I didn't plan on keeping my own business. I figured I'd get a job. Well, it was that first clinical rotation where I saw 43 patients one day that I realized I wasn't going to be able to get a job treating patients the way that I wanted or intended. I was going to have to do it myself. And so I kind of encountered that, and I was like, all right, I got to create a different way around it. And then I launched my practice in 2009. And after about a year or two, maybe 2011, back then there were internet forums, and plus or minus 2011, I was helping people on internet forums, answering questions about marketing and sales and everything like that. I can't remember what I made my first year in business, but it wasn't a lot. I mean, it was $80-something thousand. I mean, it was enough to live and support me, but I don't think I made six figures my first year in business. It's been a few years since I calculated that. I could go back and look. It's not important. I calculate it because I was trying to show some of my coaching clients how much more progress they made from me, and how much money I left on the table by not charging the right amount. What we charge now, I think I've left $1 million on the table by not charging what we currently charge because it took me so long to grow my confidence to charge more, because I didn't have a physical therapist, cash practice business coach. I had some business coaches, but not really. And they didn't know. I was going outside the industry to learn the marketing and sales that I've adapted and I'm teaching. And so my point is that I spent 5 years. 5 years? Well, I spent a lot of time losing money and trying to figure this out. And yeah, it's like 5 years. Derek Nielsen, did in, was it 8 months, what it took me 5 years to do. And then Owen Johnson came along and did in a year what it took me like 7 years to do, and beat Derek by 4 months. I've had other people, Stephanie McMillan, make $15K the first month. I mean, there's so many people out there that did in a year what it took me 5 to 7 years to do on my own, figuring it out. And to kind of come back to that, to say the opportunity is there to learn. And when I was going through this, it was like, okay, what's the need in front of me? How am I going to solve this problem? How am I going to make money for myself and my family and my baby, our first child, who my wife was pregnant with when I launched my practice? How am I going to make enough money to support all of us? Okay, I can't do it working in a job because I'm going to be miserable. Let me start my own business. And then, because Aaron likes to talk and share, I was already on internet forums for vintage scooters, Vespas, Lambrettas, straight razor shaving. I was on internet forums for physical therapy and just, hey, try this. Maybe you should try that. What about this thing? Like LinkedIn forums, internet forums, etc. And people started asking me for help. And I've told this story before. I'm going to tell it again because I think it's important. 2 classmates asked me, I'm pretty sure this was like 2011, because 2010, 2011. How'd you do your practice? I'd love to chat with you. And I got on the call with them, each of them, about an hour, maybe an hour and a half, catching up and, telling them all the things that they needed to do to start a cash practice. After a few months, I'd said to my wife at the time, I was like, they didn't even say thank you. And that's one of the wisest things she said to me. She's like, Aaron, don't give away anything for free when you expect something in return. I was like, oh, that's a good point. I was like, oh, shit, that hit hard. And then I think the next call I had, or I can't remember, I think that was after or maybe right around the same time, I had this other call with this person I didn't know. And I chatted with her on the phone, and at the end of the call, she was like, okay, so what do I owe you? And I was like, well, what do you mean? What do I owe you? What do you owe me? She was like, yeah, well, this is really valuable information. I'd like to pay you something. I was like, oh, I don't know. She's like, well, what do you charge per hour for your patient? She's like, I'll pay you that because I spent an hour with her. And so she did. And I was like, boom. And I sat down that day and I wrote down consulting prices, 1 hour. I don't know what it was, $150 or something like that. I charge much more than that now, but mostly because I don't want to do one-on-one Ask Aaron Anything calls, and because I know I can get you like massive results in your business. I kind of fell into this. Like, people started asking me, and I said, okay, well, what do I need to do? How do I get this information out that everyone's asking? Well, I'm trying to treat 26 patients a week. And I started a blog, and then I built a couple digital downloads, the Cash PT checklist, a toolkit, and I put together a course called the Cash PT Blueprint, which is the very first course on how to launch a multiple 6-figure cash practice. I mean, you can use it to launch a side hustle. You can use it to launch a multiple 6. And people have gone through, and gone through that course. I know I've met them who've built, $1 million businesses, and that was 9 years ago, which is kind of crazy to think. And so over that time, I've had a lot of different mentors and coaches, and people that have helped me, people that have inspired me, people I've helped. There's thousands of, pretty much everyone out there who's talking about cash practice and teaching it I've helped or interacted with, or they've gone through my courses or programs in some way, which is really wild because I didn't graduate PT school thinking that I was going to have that kind of impact. At the end of 2020, I joined a coaching program called Black Belt with Taki Moore. And I had met a couple people I knew about Taki, and I met a couple people who were in his program, Vince Del Monte, Xander Fryer, Craig Ballantyne, through my coach, Bedros Koulian. And I met them when I was in Bedros' Empire Mastermind with Bedros and Craig. And, I learned about Taki, and I was like, oh, this is dope. And, Bedros helped me tremendously. There was a certain point at which I still needed more. I needed more things. And one of the things that I needed after a few years of working with Bedros was like, I just needed to know, okay, I'm doing business coaching, and, I just need I wanted a community of other people that were business coaches, because we were doing one-on-one coaching, and I wanted a community of other people doing what I was doing. And 2, I knew if I had that community and I had some like tangible things that I can copy and paste and just email out and put into follow-up automations and scripts and things to, figure out problems that I was having as a business coach. Like, I could be even more successful. So I joined Black Belt. So I was doing private coaching with Bedros, and I joined Black Belt, and those groups overlapped for about 2 years, maybe just a slightly little less than 2 years. And so I've been working through Black Belt, getting strategies, getting some help. I stopped working with Bedros about a year ago as of this recording. And then I did Operation Black Site for the next year. And after 4 years, B was like, Aaron, there's not really much more I can help you or teach you right now. And it wouldn't be fair, to charge you a shitload of money, and just like chat with you on the phone and be bros. And I was like, yeah, I totally agree. So, I've been working with, Taki and getting some great, help with the community. We went to Hawaii this summer, and that was really I was like, I get to be with all these other business coaches, which is really dope. And in Black Belt is a program for coaches doing 10K a month or more. And then as you go through that and you progress, once you do 3 months in a row of, $84,000 a month, which is $1 million a year, it's $1 million run rate. Once you're doing that, then you get your Black Belt and you qualify for Boardroom. And that happened to me about a year and a half ago. But as you know, I was going through a divorce. I was like, I don't have the bandwidth to take on something new. I just got to I'm in survival mode, which is cool. So this summer, I attended, in Hawaii, I sat in at Boardroom and then decided to join Boardroom at the end of the summer. And as I'm going through that, I'm fixing some holes and putting some things together to keep my business growing. And Taki invited me to come and basically be interviewed by him for the Black Belt group, for all the business coaches, all the other business coaches, to learn what we're doing. And this is one of the things he does every month. I mean, he's got hundreds of clients in this group, and he's got hundreds of people in Boardroom, and he'll pick people doing really cool things, and they'll come and teach. And I was honored to be that. So, I got to be on Bedros's Empire podcast, which was a huge goal of mine. And I was like, dude, I want to be interviewed by Taki and be on the hot seat. And that just happened last week. And so I said I wanted to come and share a couple of the things from that and a couple of the questions that people asked, which is really cool. And I could have talked to him forever about a lot of these strategies, and the way he breaks it down is awesome. I'm not going to reshare the video. I might have some clips at some point we'll put on social media, but I'll go through a couple of the higher level ideas. So it was really cool because when I think I went and started with Taki, I think at that time, at the end of 2020, my run rate was around 35 to 40K months. I had done, bigger months, like 150K months, which is dope. And you might be like, holy shit, that's more than people make in a year. Yeah, I know. It's fucking dope, isn't it? The money evaporates pretty quickly when you've got people working for you, and you've got events that you put on, and you do in-person events, you do some things like PT BizCon. The money doesn't go as far as you think. And so, that's the whole thing around money, is that there's just a bunch of zeros, and you're just going to add some zeros to the number that you want, and you'll get there. And that's the other thing I'm going to say. I've spent hundreds of thousands of dollars in business coaching, and I do that because I want to grow my business, and I'd be a hypocrite if I didn't have a business coach, but I asked you to pay me money to coach with me. But really what it allows me to do is go through people like Bedros, Taki, Lewis Howes, Jason Capital. You may not know him, handful of other people, and pay them a big chunk of money, and then adapt those strategies to physical therapy, business coaching, et cetera, healthcare business coaching, and then teach them to my Platinum Mastermind members and put them in and talk about some of these in social media and podcasts, and then when you join my program, you get access to those strategies and people for a fraction of what I've paid. So I've invested time and money to learn a lot of these things, and you get the quick and easy distilled down version. You save time and money on learning them. Year of coaching with Bedros right now costs $100K for the year. I think when I was doing it was $50K. Black Belt's like $34,000 for the year, and Boardroom is 70, something like that. 50 something. I think it's 50 something. It's a lot, right? But it's worth it to me because my business wouldn't grow nearly as fast if I was doing this on my own. Let me get into this. So here's 3 strategies that I learned from Black Belt that really helped me grow my coaching business. And it's really, in turn, if helped other people grow theirs. So I'm going to tell you how it's helped me and how I've adapted it to help other people. So one of the big changes that I made, it took a while before I did this one, but it was, how do we run our coaching calls and events? One of the interesting thing is the model I had before wasn't a bad model. And this isn't a thing that necessarily made me more money, but it helped our clients get more results. So the way I did it before is we would teach one day and then we'd do hot seats the next day and solve problems. But that was a lot of work for me. It was a lot of work for people, and it wasn't as much fun. And now what we do in our 2-day events is we do some coaching, some like momentum coaching. We do, I teach something. We do a mastermind, like where we have you're with 5 or 6 other really smart people, business owners in a small group. We each get about 20 minutes to focus on our business and problems, and there are people in the group that have been through my programs that are smart and been through other places and know it. And it's just, and I'm not doing all the problem solving, which is weird because really I'm the facilitator, but I'm there to answer questions. And people love it. Everyone's like, Aaron, this is the best part. When I first did that, I was scared. People were gonna be like, you're not answering my questions. Really, it was the people who were the most skeptical about joining came up to me and said, the mastermind exercise that we did was like the best thing. Can we do it for longer next time? So we spend about 2 hours doing that. And we have small groups, and they're groups of people with businesses in similar niches or similar or similar size, similar like setup. So like all the like the mobile therapists will be together, the online businesses and coaches will be together, the people with multiple like therapists or locations will be together, the people that are just launching will be together, which is really cool. We do things, we bring in guests. I have either one of our coaches or some of our most successful clients teach. We do a transformation challenge. We do a workshop, and we all get together for dinner on Thursday night, like a networking dinner. We have lunch together. We do a Shoulders of Giants exercise where every group gets to pick someone to teach a 10-minute tactic. We do a lot of cool things. And it's dynamic, and we have coffee, and it brings people together. And it's not all about learning. It's about doing and connecting with other people and feeling like part of the community. And that's what we've done. So that's really what we've changed, and it's been great. And I've taught my coaching clients who are doing this how to do this with their clients, and it's helped people get more out of the event. So it's a lot of fun. And then in February last year and this year, we're going to do our event. And last year we did it in Denver. This coming year, we're going to do it in Salt Lake City. And then the event will be Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, Tuesday. Afterwards, we're going to go skiing. Last year we went skiing in Breckenridge. This year we're going to ski in Park City for 2 days. It's optional. I'm not paying for everyone skiing, but I'm facilitating it. I'm going skiing, and you can come skiing with me. So if you like to ski or snowboard or snowshoe, that's coming up in February. Okay, so we upgrade how we run the events. It's just a different model, different thing. It's less exhausting for me and more exciting for the people that attend. So that was really cool. The other thing, this number 2 thing was, for me, it was creating 6-week game plans. So what Taki does is every 6 weeks we'll create a game plan. The way that I do it in my coaching program now is it's every 90 days. We create a game plan, and everyone gets a personalized game plan. It allows you to have a focus, and exactly what's the project to work on this can make your business better. What's the project to work on to make your business money? Allows you to, for me, it's like I have to track my sales and see like the progress and the results, because when I get things done, I feel good, right? And it helps me stick to the plan. Like working with Bedros, I always knew, okay, here's my focus. I'm just going to stay on target for it. And this breaks it down one notch lower. It's like, okay, I know my focus, where I want my business to go. Okay, what's the project I need to work on? What's the piece of the project? And we've got in our Platinum Mastermind, we've got a whole roadmap. One roadmap for like therapy businesses, in-person therapy businesses, and one roadmap for online businesses. And there's 12 projects at each income level bracket. And it really gives you a focus of exactly what to work on now. And once we get that done, we can go work on the next one. So creating game plans and personalized game plans with focus has been really helpful for me. It's really helped me focus and stay focused, but it, in turn, adapting that and teaching that to our Platinum Mastermind members has allowed them to do that, because everyone starts, you go through the roadmap, we walk through and talk about all the different projects and how they fit, the nonprofit accelerators, and then we build out a personalized game plan so you know not just where we're going in a year, where we need to get to in 6 months to hit the year goal, where we need to go in the next 90 days, and what are the pieces of that project we're working on the next week. And we just kind of update that every week. So that was number 2, big strategy. And number 3, for me, it was taking this onboarding process for our mastermind, stretching it out, not delaying a call with me, but putting the call with me in where, so when you join our program, you start with a one-on-one call with me. And then after that, most of the calls are group calls, because group is what helps us grow faster. But I want to connect with everyone and make sure everyone gets to know me as well as I know their business. So we do a one-on-one onboarding call in the beginning, but it used to be that I did it like right after you enrolled, and I spent majority of the time on logistics. And now what we do is we go through, I've automated all the logistics because there's a lot of logistics, and we give everyone a launch checklist with some main projects that all new members need to go through, and things like making sure your avatar and USP are locked down, making sure that you've got the money-making strategies, because when you join, I want to give you money-making strategies for now, and then we get you going on your roadmap and game plan. And then after you build out your game plan, then you meet with me. We go over the game plan and go deeper into strategies or problems that you might be encountering coming up, especially if they're unique or slightly different because you have multiple businesses or locations or different opportunities. And automating that, God, that was one of the things that really helped me with my business after PT BizCon 2022, when it was time for a divorce. I was like, holy cow. But I had this process automated, and that took a lot of the load off of me. So the lesson is automate as much as you can in your business so that you can focus on the things that are important in your business and in your life. I mean, it helped me with retention. It helped me with people coming in and knowing exactly what to expect right off, getting some results before we even chat on the phone. I think those are the 3 big things that I was able to pull from Taki. I mean, there's a ton of other stuff in there, but there's 3 things that helped me and my business grow. Those were it. I shared that on the call, and hopefully that makes sense to you guys. So thinking about how do you give your patients like a focus, like I've got a 12-week plan for you, but every week we've got a focus, or every 3 weeks we're going to do that. How do we, change or upgrade how we service our clients? And then how can you make your new patient onboarding evergreen and automatic, so you're giving them all the important information in written communication, even maybe some text communication. It helps with retention. It helps. I mean, we've been doing this in our clinic for years. Helps with retention, reviews, etc. So this is the Q&A part, because remember I said I asked people in our Facebook group, the Cash PT Nation. I posted this about a week before the interview, and I said, hey, if you could ask me one question about how I grew my coaching business, what would you like to know? So I got some good questions in there. I put the same thing on my personal profile, and like I said, I didn't get any questions, but I've got some good ones, and I'm going to go through this, and hopefully it's helpful and insightful for you. Question number 1 was, how did you market and get a wide email list, and how long did it take you to charge what you're worth? So how did I market my business and get a wide email list? I think the number 1 thing is create an irresistible offer. Or maybe it's before you even do that, it's just be helpful. Just, be helpful to other people, answer other people's questions without expectation. Number 2, be everywhere. Be everywhere where your avatar is. At this point, you may not know who your avatar was. I mean, certainly I didn't, because like I said, I got into coaching. It wasn't intentional, but it's not a hobby. It's no longer a hobby. Instagram, Facebook, are your people on TikTok, LinkedIn? I mean, be everywhere they are. The third part of this is you have to create an irresistible offer. You have to create something that people want. Like how you get a wide email list, you have to create something that's worth way more than them giving you their name and email address and even phone number. So a couple of things that I created, irresistible offers that built my coaching email list, Cash PT Checklist, cashptchecklist.com. You can go there and check it out. It's a step-by-step checklist of what you need to do to launch a physical therapy cash practice or even an OT cash practice. Number 2, my Facebook group, the Cash PT Nation. I mean, if you're not in it and you're interested in building a cash practice, you should go. Just search for Cash PT Nation on Facebook. But when you get in, if you don't want to give me your email address, you don't get in. That's as easy as that. But when you do give me your email address, and I let you in, you're going to get an email from me with a link to the Cash PT checklist and a link to the 35 marketing strategies. Number 3, there's the Cash PT Blueprint book. Okay, in 2019, I wrote a book. It's a companion to the course, the Cash PT Blueprint, and I wrote a book. The book's got slightly different information in it. About 80% is the same, but some people value the book. It's written as a companion piece, but also as a lead generator. So, I mean, I've easily got 1,000 leads from people that haven't even bought the book from the funnel, the way that works. We've sold thousands of copies. It's an awesome lead magnet. It actually costs me more to print and ship than I ask people to pay in return. And you pay $9.99 or $9.97 for shipping, and you get the book for free. You can go to Amazon and get it for $20 or $24. But you pay $9.99 for me. It actually costs me about $14 to send it to you. But it's a great lead magnet. We run Facebook ads to it all the time. You've probably seen it. Number 4, free webinars. I used to do free webinars. I mean, I still do free webinars, free live webinars. You can go and get on a free webinar. How to launch a cash practice or the 9 profit accelerators to scale your physical therapy business. Those are the 2 most popular free webinars I've done that have brought me in thousands of leads. But they're not, but webinars aren't simple. They're easy, but not simple. They've got lots of little steps. But man, you just don't even have to figure out all the steps. You can just run a webinar. What I've done is the name, it identifies who you are. And then the title identifies like what you're going to get. Checklist, Cash PT checklist, Cash PT Nation community, Cash PT blueprint for starting a cash practice. Hopefully that gives you a little bit more information. The second part of this question was, how long did it take to charge what you're worth? My answer to that is, I'm not really sure I'm actually charging what I'm worth yet. Because if I can add a extra $100K to your business in the next 12 months, I mean, what is that worth? Is it only worth $10,000 or 20, or is that worth $99,000? Like, if I can add $100K to your business and I charge you $99,000, you'd be up $1,000. Yeah. So you're still making profit. You know, what's it worth? Like I said, I've helped people make, an extra $200,000 a year or extra $50,000 a month that they weren't making before, and then you're going to do that over time, over 10 years or 20. I mean, I've helped people make millions of extra dollars. So what's that really worth? I think I'm charging fair rates, but is it what the information's worth and time's worth? No, not yet, for sure, but I'm happy with it. What would you have done differently? So question 2, what would you have done differently quicker or earlier in your career? What would you have done differently or quicker earlier in your career? So here's 4 things that I would have done. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on them because I've talked a lot about them before. I would have hired a coach sooner. I would have hired my team sooner, employees, team members, VAs sooner. I would have hired a Facebook ads manager sooner because, man, had I hired Jake a whole year ahead of time, I would be making so much more and have so many more leads. Facebook ads used to be much easier. And I would have started our Cash PT Platinum Mastermind sooner, or started a monthly recurring revenue product sooner. So I would have started the higher ticket and the monthly recurring revenue sooner than I did with just a course, but that's how it came to me. Number 3, did you wait to buy things like software, tools, etc. until after you started, made money, or did you get everything you needed up front with a loan? I did not take a business loan for either of my businesses. I started with like kind of what I had, and really I started by selling before I created. So with the coaching business, people were asking me for coaching calls. So I did some one-on-one coaching calls for a little while until I came out with the course, and I paid for Optimized Press and integrated that with PayPal. And I hired John Schumacher to help me with the launch and the course. And I built this out. And I don't know what I paid him. I think I can't remember what it was. But we made $5,000 in 5 days, and then I've gone on to make hundreds of thousands, probably $1 million with the course, which is dope. But I didn't build the course until I sold it. And I didn't spend more money on the course and the coaching clients until I got people in, even with our mastermind. I enrolled 6 people into the course before I booked in the hotel to have our first mastermind event. So some tools and software is necessary to start, but not all of them. Think about remember 80% is good enough, minimum viable product. We just got to get people to agree that they want what you have. And then once they do, then we can go and build out an amazing experience for them. Okay, the fourth question was, what's the biggest reason for creating communities, and what's your secret sauce for getting peeps to opt in? I like that. The biggest reason to create communities right now, so early on it was ask questions and ask questions and build a community of people. Right now it's leads. Number 1 is leads. So number 2 is connection. If you have a Facebook group and you're adding people to it and you're not collecting leads on the way in, you're not doing it right these days. Okay. But if you're just getting started, maybe the first 100 people, you let them in without their emails because there's no reason for them to join. But if they can get a free thing that's worth it, the group plus the lead magnet people will give you their email to join. So leads is number 1. Connection is number 2. Number 3 is community. So can I connect with other people? Number 3 would be community of people. I know I'm surrounded. They're slightly different. And the biggest reason for creating them, really the secret sauce to getting them in is offer something irresistible. So see question number 1. But that's it. I mean, it's right now, can you build a great business without a Facebook community? Yeah. If I had to start over today, I might do something like Discord instead of Facebook groups, but I'd probably still have a Facebook group because people request to join all the time. And it's a great source of leads. But Facebook throttles my posts. A lot of people aren't even going to see this live that I'm broadcasting in there because of the way Facebook works these days versus 5 years ago. I think we probably created this group 6 or 7 years ago. I'd do it live and a ton of people were on. So anyways, I digress. Okay, the last question was, your presence in my email, social media, et cetera, is probably 2 to 3 times a day, if not more. So I'm doing things right. How many hours a week would you say you're working to keep your current pace of business expansion? How does this compare to your first few years in private practice? So she didn't ask me this question in person, but I'm going to assume that she thinks that, okay, I'm posting 2 or 3 times a day and I'm emailing 2 or 3 times a day. I'm not. I have a team and I automate a lot of these things. So when you opt in for one of my lead mags I mentioned before, you're going to get automated emails. And I've got social media coming out. My virtual assistant is going to take videos from this recording and put them on social media as a podcast, but also as individual clips, which is really dope, which is really cool. I'm not doing that. I'm sitting here and just talking to my camera and looking at myself. I leverage team. I leverage social media. I leverage automation. So my current schedule, I had team meetings on Monday, pick up my kids at 3. Tuesday, I do some work in the morning, maybe some deeper work, maybe some emails, mastermind call at 12 Eastern, lunch, and then 2 o'clock meeting with team at the clinic, and then 3:30 pick up kids. Wednesday is deep work in the morning, calls in the afternoon. I work out right before lunch, Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Thursdays, similar to Wednesdays, except I have a meeting with Caitlin for doing some mentorship for the clinic. And then Fridays is generally podcast recording day, do whatever errand day, etc. Today is Thursday and I'm recording, so tomorrow, Friday, I won't be here, so I'm recording today. Tonight I'm gonna go down to Tampa to hang with my buddy Greg. Greg Todd. If you don't know Greg, he's awesome dude. You should listen to his shit. That's kind of my schedule. Now versus earlier, how's it compared to my first few years in starting private practice? Man, I work just as fucking hard. Just as hard, but I'm smarter about it. I'm smarter about my time. I'm smarter about leveraging things, smarter about delegating. Can I learn more? Oh, yes, I can learn more. Can I grow? Yes. I leverage the team and software. Like I said, those are the big things. But there's one of the things I teach in our Platinum Mastermind. It's a social media marketing funnel. It's basically, how do you create one piece of content and get it out in front of people in many different ways? And that's what the person asking this question is seeing. So it's a lot of times people don't understand it. Like, oh, Aaron, you send me too many emails or too many. I'm like, well, how many email addresses or time, and how many of my lead magnets did you sign up for? Hopefully if you use the same email address across the board, it won't be too many. It might be a lot, but it won't be like too many. But what happens is people get in, they sign up for their work email, their free email, their older free email, et cetera, because they can't keep track, and they get all the things. And so anyways, that's email marketing. It works. It's kind of crazy how good it works. So I'm going to leave you with this. At the end of the call with Taki, he asked for 3 lessons or pieces of advice for other business coaches. So here they are. I gave 4 of them, but here's the 3. Automate your emails, your onboarding, your kickoff calls. Like, automate the onboarding process. It can be automated because you're telling everyone the same thing. And then they meet with you to do the evaluation, the deep dive, the strategy. Number 2, be relentless and stick to your plan. Number 3, no matter how hard it feels, it's always going to be hard. Keep going. And number 4, 80% is good enough, because we both know perfection is a business killer, or maybe you haven't heard that yet, but perfection is a business killer. 80% is good enough. Stop waiting for it to be perfect, your course to be perfect, your launch to be perfect, your website, etc., to be perfect. You're ready now. Do it. Hopefully these insights were helpful for you. I'd love to hear back from you sometime. Maybe shoot me a message over on Instagram. I'm still in my Instagram account. Like, maybe sometimes the bot will be in there, but I'm still there. I'd love to know what was most helpful for you about this episode or any others. If you dare, take a screenshot and shout me out on Instagram stories and tag me, and I'll share it. I'd love to do that and help other people see what your insight was, because that's just going to help them. And if you're a physical therapist, even an occupational therapist, you've got an online fitness, health coaching, or business coaching program, and you've got clients, you're making a couple $1,000 a month, but you want to scale up to 20K months, or even beyond 50K months, and you've got room for more new clients, I'd love to chat with you to see if our time, income, and impact systems can help. Go to callwithaaron.com. It's Aaron, right? So it's callwithaaron, callwithaaron.com. Book in a time to chat, and I'll see you on the next show. Peace out. Hey, what's up? It's Aaron. Thanks for listening to the show. If you enjoyed the episode and you'd like to help support the podcast, please share it with others, post about it on social media, or leave a 5-star rating and review over on iTunes. And to catch all the latest from me, follow me over on Instagram at Aaron LeBauer. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time.